Only the strongest sections move forward, because weaker pieces can reduce the quality of the fibers we need later.
Everything starts right after harvest, when strong, fresh stems are selected, before they lose their usable inner fiber.
After trimming, the material is rushed into the sorting line while it is still fresh and easier to process cleanly. Here the material is separated by strength and structure, so only the best batches continue into fiber extraction.
Now the selected stems are lined up for the next major step, where the useful inner strands begin to separate.
This is where the hidden strands start coming free, as pressure and blades strip the soft plant layers away. This is where the hidden strands start coming free, as pressure and blades strip the soft plant layers away.
The outer layers fall away first, while the long inner strands are pulled out and kept from tangling too early.
The strands are collected immediately and spread out fast, so they stay long, open, and easier to clean next.
You can already see the useful strands separating, but they still carry bark, sap, and rough material that must be removed.
At this point, the strands are visible, but they still need finer stripping before they can move toward washing and conditioning.
Now the rough outer remnants are stripped away more precisely, leaving cleaner and longer continuous strands.
This finer pass removes the stubborn roughness, so the strands can wash more evenly in the next section.
Once the rough layers are gone, the strands move quickly toward rinsing before any sticky residue settles back in.
By the end of this line, the strands are much cleaner, longer looking, and ready for a full wash.
The strands are now prepared for deep cleaning, where sap, plant residue, and remaining impurities will be washed out. Now the cleaned strands enter a deep wash, where water removes sap and fine plant residue trapped between the fibers.
Gentle rinsing keeps the long strands intact, while the last sticky impurities are loosened and carried away.
The fibers are turned and rinsed repeatedly, so both sides clean evenly before drying begins.
By the final rinse, the strands are cleaner, more open, and ready to lose moisture without carrying residue forward. After purification, excess moisture is drained away so the strands can dry evenly and gain better strength. This stage removes moisture carefully, helping the long strands dry evenly and build more usable strength. The strands must stay open during drying, otherwise trapped moisture can cause uneven texture later.
Before the fibers can be softened, their moisture level must be balanced so they stay strong but still flexible. Even airflow and careful rotation help the strands dry consistently before they receive their smoothing treatment.
Once drying is complete, the strands are stable enough for the next treatment that makes them smoother and easier to work with.
This treatment softens the dry strands, making them smoother, more flexible, and easier to align for spinning.
As the strands pass through this step, stiffness reduces and the surface becomes smoother for the next alignment stage. The softened strands are opened out immediately so they stay smooth and ready for careful alignment. By the end of this line, the strands are softer, straighter, and much easier to prepare for combing. With softening complete, the strands are now ready for combing, where alignment becomes much more precise.
Here the softened strands are combed into alignment, removing uneven clumps and preparing a cleaner flow for the next treatment. Combing helps the strands lie in the same direction, which makes later spinning smoother and more consistent.
Once the strands are aligned, they can move forward as cleaner and more orderly fiber sheets.
By the end of combing, the fiber is straighter, cleaner, and much easier to process into fine textile material. The aligned strands are now ready for a lightening stage that improves brightness and prepares them for premium yarn quality. This lightening step improves brightness while keeping the long strands intact for the quality needed later.
The fibers are checked closely here, so brightness stays even from one section to the next.
After brightening, the strands move into a rinse stage, so the treatment stays controlled and the texture remains clean.
By the end of this line, the strands are brighter, cleaner looking, and ready to enter spinning preparation. The strands now leave this section brighter and more even, ready for the twisting and spinning work ahead. Now the prepared strands begin twisting into continuous thread, turning loose fiber into strong, usable yarn.
The strands tighten here into a more controlled line, building the strength and consistency needed for fabric production.
Once the twist is stable, the new yarn is guided onto spools for the weaving process ahead. Across this line, prepared strands become organized yarn, ready to move into weaving and fabric formation. With spinning complete, the yarn is ready to move forward into weaving, where the fabric structure finally begins to take shape.
Now the spun yarn is woven into a continuous textile surface, forming the structure that turns thread into usable fabric.
At this stage, the thread is interlocked with precision, building a strong and elegant woven surface.
Once woven, the fabric moves into final finishing, where its texture, surface feel, and presentation are refined.
Here the finished textile is refined, checked, and rolled into a premium form, ready for shipment and display.
After final inspection and packaging, the textile is ready for transport, showroom presentation, and premium retail use.
And that is the complete journey, from fresh harvested stems to premium textile-ready fabric at large scale.
Subscribe for more detailed factory journeys and process documentaries, from raw material to finished product.